Yesterday was our first day. The biggest thing we worked on, just defensive principles. Thought we had a lot of breakdown, especially Oklahoma State game. But I thought our guys competed the last game the way we were capable of playing. But just back to the basics somewhat.
Talk about Oakland on Monday night. What do you look from them?
Talented team. They run that dribble drive, pitch the ball back to the shooters, run the shooters off screens, a lot of spacing. Pretty good team, so it should be a good game.
After that UMass win, you feel a little bit better coming back home with the trip as a whole, or?
I wouldn't necessarily say better. We finished 2-1. There were a lot of things I felt we had breakdown in. Some things we could have done better against Oklahoma State. And more of that's probably me than our players. Not a lot of prep time. We just got there. We did some good things, so that was probably me more than the players.
As you look back on the two trips in the fourth break, what do you think the team gained out of that?
I think experience more than anything. Just playing with each other. I think we're a talented team now. The next phase for us, as a growth, you have talent. And now you got to try to find ways to play without a key guy, Jerron May, who's a physical presence, defensive rebounder type guy, tough, hard-nosed guy, a leader for you. And just filling that void because you have the talent to do it. Now we're just kind of going through it because it's hard when you're counting a guy for production's not around. So just getting used to that.
Coach, as we're walking out here, they're all talking about that Division III guy that scored like 138 points. What does that do to a defensive minded coach?
Put me to sleep. It's tough. I mean, I saw the highlights, saw a lot of points. I'm happy for the guy. I would love that done.
Just for your program's habits to Oakland and what they almost did to Pitt last week, I mean, how does that help prepare you guys to know about this team more?
I think the one thing about our guys, they know and understand, especially returning guys, that anybody can beat you at any time. And you see the great job Butler's doing in Hawaii, so anybody can beat you if you're preparing to play, you execute, do what you need to do. So we understand that point. You just got to go out and play the game.
Coach, can you talk about this week's schedule? You know, it will get 4 games under your belt, come back, have a whole week off to kind of work and see what you've done so far.
I think it's great for us. And like I said, yesterday was our first day of practice. We go again today. We take off Thanksgiving Day, then we come back Friday and get after it.
And what are the plans? I mean, you have something set up for the guys tomorrow, the team?
They can come to my house and cook the food. I'll eat it. We'll be at my house.
You do any of the cooking?
Not this time. I won't do any cooking. My wife told me to stay away from it. And my excuse, we were practicing, so I can't be at home cooking.
And you talked about the team as a whole playing without Jerron, getting used to that. What about Jarnell specifically getting used to being the guy inside? How big of a step is that for him?
I thought he did a really good job against UMass, and really establishing the presence around the blocks. And the small adjustment he made was really facing up and attacking right away, as opposed to allowing a double team. Then we had guys cutting through to free him up somewhat. But when you're making shots, it's a lot easier. I think the Okie State game weren't making shots. I thought we had some good looks, but when you're making shots, he's aggressive like that. I think the thing that he's done is a really good job of facing up, but also has done a tremendous job of attacking offensive glass. If he doesn't get the ball, he does a good job of keeping it alive.
It seems like there was a stretch in that game where he kind of, I don't want to say took over, but really made his presence felt. I mean, was it good for him to kind of see what he can do when he kind of maybe turns it on a little bit?
I think so. He has that ability, and the key is having it on at all times and playing at a high level. But you know, you're talking about a humble guy. It's not a selfish basketball player. Getting used to being selfish in a lot of areas is a hard thing to do. We need him to be selfish and be aggressive. And when he's making his free throws, it's almost impossible to guard him with one guy.
I feel like we have to ask you about Jerron. Is there anything new?
I won't see him in November.
When you have such an off shooting night like you had against Oklahoma State, how do you mentally get the guys back to where they kind of don't think about it?
For me, I don't spend a lot of time on it. When you shoot shots, you practice shots, they fall, sometimes they don't. But the thing we talk about all the time, you have to hang your hat on the defensive side of the ball. Because if you consume yourself when your shots don't fall and you gauge your game on how well you're playing because your shots fall, it could be a long season for you. So for our guys miss free throws, they miss shots. I don't talk about it much. As long as we practice on it, guys work on it, because when you start talking about it quite a bit, then it becomes a problem.
Was that something you thought that happened?